Hello everybody, welcome back to more political chatter. This video is going to be centered around Larry Hogan, the governor of Maryland, and someone who is heavily expected to run for the presidency in 2024. Going to this Wikipedia page, there is almost no one in this publicly expressed interest list, with the exception of Donald Trump, obviously, more so who I would expect to run than Larry Hogan. I think out of these five, Chris Christie, Ted Cruz, Larry Hogan, Francis Suarez, and Chris Sununu, of course, not counting Trump, I do think that Larry Hogan is most likely to run, of course, not counting Corey Stapleton, who has announced that he will be testing the waters to run for the presidency. But that's besides the point. The point is that Larry Hogan will likely run in 2024. In this video, we are just going to be taking a look at that. Now, Larry Hogan appeared on CNN. Alright, this was back in February, actually. I'm pretty late to this video. But, so, Jake Tapper's asking him about a potential 2024 bid. And, so many people who are on interviews like this, they regularly get asked this, and most of them decline, because, even if they do one, they don't want to be attacked by enemies or attacked by the media in the meantime. But Larry Hogan is very friendly to the idea. He's more than friendly to the idea. So Jake Tapper asks him about it. And like any politician, Larry Hogan goes into the case of him running. Really is what he does. What he says is that a new CNN poll came out, and just about half of Republicans don't want Trump to run in 2024. And what he means is that, and what he's saying is that he's a sane conservative, as he says, sane conservative meaning not a pro-Trump conservative, an anti-Trump conservative, a Mitt Romney type, someone who's a traditional Republican. Alright, that's the key takeaway from this clip. He says that he is a traditional Republican, and so Jake Tapper says, so you are considering a 2024 bid, because he goes into the case that can be made for his bid. Right? It's what happens, he makes the case for him running, and really he's propping himself up to run in 2024. So, and then what he says is that he and his team will certainly consider 2024 presidential run. He says it right there. He says that he will certainly consider it. He is not declining. He will certainly consider 2024 run against Donald Trump. I think that would be a heck of a matchup. Hogan versus Trump. That'd be very interesting. I do think that Trump would win, but it would be very interesting to look at. But really, looking at the 2024 Republican primary, it's tough to say how well Hogan can do, because if we go back to this video and how I was saying that Hogan makes the case for himself in a Hogan 2024 bid. He does this by saying, new CNN poll came out that showed 50% of Republicans do not want Trump to run in 2024. But let's look at more polls. We can't just base it off one CNN poll. And really, this is where things get interesting. Alright, this really is where, how do I say this? It's really where, the case for Hogan to run in 2024 goes down a lot, because the polls are all over. Whoops, my mic is cutting out. So, first one, 67% GOP wants Trump to stay in politics. 44% want him to run. Alright, just 44% of GOP, of members of the GOP want Trump to run in 2024. Let's go to Business Insider. 78% of Republicans want Trump to run in 2024. We go from 44% to 78%. And that right there just shows that these are all over. And then going to the Hill, this is another 44%, which is pretty interesting. And then most Americans, and then majority of Republicans, and then 80% of Republicans want Trump to run in 2024. So if you see what I'm saying here, the point is that the polls don't tell us much because they are all over. And the case for Hogan 2024 bid goes down a lot because really we do not know if or how many Republicans want Trump to run in 2024. But for the record, we went through the Republican primary, right? So let's go through Hogan in the general election because he's always a possibility. Anyone is a possibility on the Republican side. I mean, I was watching a history video about the 2016 election. It was by History Channel, Hip Hughes, and it wasn't really about history. He was just talking about what's going on in the world right now. And this video was centered around the 2016 Republican primary. And then at the end, he goes through each candidate, says their odds. Then at the end, he's like, and we have a joke here. And then he talks about each candidate for a while, but not Trump. He says, and we have a joke here. Donald Trump, odds 500 to 1. That's all he says. And he said the odds were 500 to 1. And what do we know happens? Donald Trump becomes the president. So, see, people can rise up on the Republican side. So how well would Larry Hogan do against a generic Democrat? Now, this is not my prediction by any means. And I'm not even doing margins. These are just, this is not a official prediction whatsoever. I'm just going through the scenarios of a Hogan win, and I'm saying where he would do well is what is happening here. So Larry Hogan is going to do well really with liberal Republicans. Obviously, he is neoliberal, and he's going to do very well in the Northeast. And he will be very popular in Maine's 2nd district. Maybe Maine at large is out of reach, but, he's going to do very well in the Northeast. New Hampshire is another possibility because Biden and, generic Democrats, Biden, Harris, Clinton, are all unpopular because Biden is unpopular. So New Hampshire has a great chance of going to Larry Hogan. He's going to do well in the state of Ohio, and Iowa, and Nebraska second. He's going to do well in the suburbs, really. He's going to carry the state of Texas once again, of course, Alaska. The case really can be made. Can Larry Hogan win the state of Virginia? That'd be very interesting to look at. And maybe because of Biden's unpopularity, he wins Florida and North Carolina, maybe Georgia. And then he's going to return traditional Republican McCain voters to Larry Hogan, who had stayed home in 2020 because of Trump's McCain remarks. So New Mexico and Colorado, I think, would stay to the Democrat, but maybe Hogan is even popular enough to win the state of Nevada. So he's already won the election. Biden or the generic Democrat can have the Rust Belt. He doesn't even need it. They could have the state of Nevada. But this is where things narrow up. If the generic Democrat can win the state of Virginia, they win the election, and Nevada, and the Rust Belt. But going to the Rust Belt, I do not think that the generic Democrat will. I think that Larry Hogan will certainly carry the state of Pennsylvania. He's going to do very well. He comes right below from the state of Maryland. Pennsylvania really will prop the Hogan campaign up. It's going to boost them to victory, really, the state of Pennsylvania. I think they could win the state of Wisconsin. And then after that, they don't even need Georgia. Or Hogan doesn't even need New Hampshire. If he carries Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, those 4, and Florida, I guess, but that's going to the Republicans, those 5 give him victory. He could have Michigan too, and maybe the Democrats. Florida's too far, sorry, but really I think that Florida would go to Larry Hogan. But really the point is that Hogan will do very well in a lot of states, but most importantly the Rust Belt. He can win Rust Belt states. That's an important takeaway. He could even win the state of Virginia. I really think it's possible for him to win Virginia in the South, Nevada. He will appeal to a lot of people, but, again, Democrats could have Nevada, Michigan, Georgia, and it does not matter. They could have Wisconsin. It does not matter. Larry Hogan will win the Virginia, and then kind of goes into the Democrats' favor. But Wisconsin there, he wins the election. Just to end the video off. So the point is that the generic Democrat versus Hogan matchup will be close, and Larry Hogan definitely can win the presidential election. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out all all my other videos because they're very interesting and very cool, and I spend a lot of time making them. And so again, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time.